The callous disregard Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy, DeForest Kelly, has for his patients in this Star Trek, the original series episode still leaves me shaking my head. Bones, of course, was Chief Medical Officer of the USS Enterprise in Star Trek, the original series, Star Trek, the animated series, and the first 6 Star Trek movies. In Star Trek, the original series Season 1, Episode 4, The Enemy Within, a transporter accident separates Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, into good and evil versions. Without his darker side, the good Kirk is weak and indecisive. Meanwhile, the evil Kirk is a dangerous menace until the two Kirks are merged back into one complete captain. The Enemy Within explores Kirk's character and how his dark side is essential, but cannot be left unchecked to run amok. There are dated and disturbing elements in this early Star Trek outing, specifically, evil Kirk's sexual assault of Yeoman Janice Rand, Grace Lee Whitney, that are tough to watch. However, Dr. McCoy's behavior at the end of Star Trek, the original series, The Enemy Within, always startles me. Bones didn't care about Sulu in Star Trek, the original series, The Enemy Within. At the end of Star Trek, the original series, The Enemy Within, the frozen bodies of Lieutenant Hikaru Sulu, George Takei, and the USS Enterprise crewmen stranded on Alpha 177 are beamed aboard and wheeled past Dr. McCoy and Captain Kirk. Bones offers the diagnosis, severe exposure to frostbite, but I think they'll make it. But it's McCoy's dismissive tone of voice that is striking and jaw-dropping. Frostbite is a life-threatening condition, but Bones feels no sense of urgency or concern for Sulu and the others. The rescued crewman should be Dr. McCoy's first priority, but he's more interested in how the restored Captain Kirk feels. True, Kirk is the captain, and Jim is Bones' best friend, but once the captain was made whole again, Dr. McCoy should have launched into crisis management mode. The full attention of the Starship Enterprise's chief medical officer should have been on Sulu and the rescued crewman. Instead, Bones was in no rush to care for what should have been his main priority, the starship's personnel who were at death's door. Bones' instant eyeball diagnosis when the frozen Starfleet officers are wheeled past him is, I think they'll make it. Captain Kirk should have told McCoy that he's fine and ordered him to care for his incoming patients, and Bones' sole focus at that point should have been on the frostbitten crewman since Kirk was no longer in danger. Bones' best Doctor moment was in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Despite how cold Dr. McCoy was to Sulu and the rescued USS Enterprise crewmen in The Enemy Within, Bones was an exemplary physician, and he was the model for every other doctor created by Star Trek. To me, McCoy's most compassionate moment as a doctor was in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. On a mission to rescue Commander Pavel Chekhov, Walter Koenig, from a 1986 San Francisco hospital, Dr. McCoy meets an elderly lady dying of kidney failure. Outraged at the primitive medical care of the late 20th century, Bones gives the woman a pill. Moments later, Bones, Admiral Kirk, Chekhov, and Dr. Gillian Taylor, Catherine Hicks, pass the woman in the hall, and she's elated about Bones giving her a magic pill that grew her a new kidney. Bones didn't stop to soak up the woman's gratitude, but he lived up to his Hippocratic oath and gave her a new chance at life.